Hi everybody, I'm Emily from the channel Mindfully Trading, and in this video I'm going to share with you an introduction to the charting software Tradingview. I've been using Tradingview for about a year now and I absolutely love the platform. It's so easy to use, it has all the features that I need and it is incredibly affordable compared to other charting software, so I highly recommend Tradingview. Now I have got some links below in the description if you want to check out Tradingview. There are both free and paid subscriptions available, so you can sign up for free and follow along with this video to get used to the platform yourself now and decide if it's right for you. As you can see behind me, I have my trading set up. I've got the charts on the two screens above my laptop, and that's what we're going to dive into today, so let's go. Before we begin, just a reminder to like and subscribe this channel so that you can stay up to date with the latest content about trading. Okay, so this is how my actual profile of Tradingview looks like when you land onto the charting page. Now I'm going to try and keep this video as simple as possible, so it is made with the intention of it being for beginners. You can do a lot of stuff with Tradingview, and I've probably not even utilised all the features that it offers. But I tend to try and keep my charts more simple because otherwise it can add a little bit too much noise and clutter and it can interfere with the analysis part. Before we actually dive into the charts themselves, I'll just give you a little tour, an overview of Tradingview. So this is the Tradingview charting platform. As you can see, I've got a 3-chart layout, and there are different menus on the left, the top, and the right, and at the bottom. I'm going to start on the right, and if you click on the top icon here, you can actually view your watch list. So this is just a collection of the different stocks that I personally am watching. It's great if you are a swing trader. If you want to keep different stocks on watch, you can add your symbol here, press the enter key, and then you can see them there. As I said, this is to focus more on setting up the charts themselves, but I'll just give you an overview. Any alerts that you make, so you can set alerts on charts if the candlesticks cross over a specific price point, which is really useful, especially for swing trading. Continuing down this list, we have a data window. So this is just to give more information on the stock that you're currently viewing. So I'm looking at ISEE. The next icon down is hot lists. This is quite useful just to see an overview of what's going on in the market this day. I'm not quite sure why that's coming up blank. I think it might be because, here we go. My internet's obviously running a little bit slower. But here you can see in the top part, we've got volume gainers. So this is the stocks that have the most spikes or the decreases in volume, and then below that are the gappers. So it's quite handy before the bell rings if you're a day trader, just to have a look and see where most of the volume is, where the biggest gap in stocks are. So it can be a nice reference point to actually find stocks to trade. Continuing down this list, we've got a calendar. I don't really use this much, but it does give earnings and it has some useful information on there. Also, any ideas, so you can save your own ideas for trades in this icon. And there are other features here that, again, I don't really utilise. I don't find that I need them for my strategy, but you can use them from Tradingview, which are different chats, private chats, ideas streams, so you can see what other people have got, and notifications. So there's quite a lot just in that panel alone, but I mainly use the watch list and then also the hot lists for what's going on. To close that again, you just press the top icon and press it again, and that just gets that out of the way. So moving down, I'm just going to scan across this bottom because the bottom area here mainly includes the stock screener or a notes panel, and also an editor where you can actually add code. So I don't really use too much of that. I have gone into detail on the screener on another video, so I'll add a link to that in the top corner if you want to check that out to see how to use the stock screener. And then on the left-hand side are the more kind of technical analysis tools, your drawing tools for the charts themselves. And then along the top, we have the box here where you can actually enter in your ticker. So if we just enter in a well-known one, let's have a look at Apple. And load that one up here. The one just next to it shows you what chart that you're actually on. So you have the access. You can actually use 1 minute, 3 minute, as you can see here, 5, 15, 30 and 45. So there's lots of different charts in minutes. Also the hourly charts, and then the day, the week and the month. So there are loads of different charts there. There are also second charts available, but they are for the higher paid subscription. I don't actually have that because I don't find I need those features. I currently have the Pro subscription, but as I said at the beginning, you can start off with a free subscription, and that's absolutely fine. It just naturally has some limited features. So as you can see, I'm just zooming out here, and you can probably see that there's a difference in the colour. So this is a bit lighter, this one's darker, and this just shows the pre-market hours. Now, I didn't have this facility in the free version of TradingView, and that is one of the main reasons why I actually subscribed to the paid version, because I really need to see what's going on in the pre-market for my strategy for day trading. So just to share that with you. But continuing on our tour, so just next to the actual time intervals for the charts themselves, we've got the different candlesticks. So I have them set to the generic candlesticks, but you can change them if you prefer to have a line or bars. There's some different options there for you. Also, we have also some extra features here if you want to compare, and then your indicators. This floating box, if you hover over the dots to get the hand, you can just move that out of the way. And that's in relation to the actual broker side of TradingView, which I don't use. This video is just focusing on the charts themselves. And then we have templates. So once you've set up your charts, you can actually save them as templates. Although TradingView is very useful, it does automatically save. So when you reload your browser, and it should bring that back up for you. Again, we've got some alert boxes here if you want to add an alert, but I don't want to do that right now. And that's a very brief overview of those. As you can see just over here where it says unnamed, that'll just say autosave is on. So that's pretty handy to have so that you can keep track of your charts. So what I'm going to do, you've got a quick glance at what mine look like. As you can see, I favour the black background. I've got my indicators set up here on the charts on my daily. I've also got an RSI here just below my volume bars. So I'm going to log out, and I'm going to actually go back into TradingView as a complete beginner so that I can sort of see what you'll see when you start, and then I'll basically set up that to replicate this and share with you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so all I've done here is I've just put tradingview.com. This brings up the home page. You can click on the chart icon there, or right here, nice and easy, it says launch chart. If we click on that button, that will take you to the page that I was on before that I shared with you. Now, this is the generic page that's loading up. I've not done anything to this, so I imagine you'll probably receive something very similar if you're just signing up as well. I've not actually made a free account for this, but in the top left, we've got these 3 lines. And if you click on those lines, that should load up an option where you can create an account. So that's already saying to have a free trial in the pop-up. But going back to those 3 lines, it says at the bottom here, join now. We'll actually have a look at that just to go through that first. So sign up if you're a complete newbie. Let's create a new one. So I'm just going to put mindfully trading free. Okay, so once you've signed up, as you can see, it will ask you to verify your email. So you just need to go into the email address that you used in your sign up and click on the link that's in there, and then you're good to go. Might be worth noting to you that my confirmation link actually went to my junk box, so it's always good to check that as well if you can't find your link. But this is your email. I'll just say to confirm your account and activate, and that should take you back to TradingView. So as you can see, you've got your username just there, and as with before, we're just going to click onto chart, and that should take us to the generic charting page. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that top right hand button just to get rid of that panel, just to make it a bit bigger, and I'm going to hover over those dots to just move that up out of the way. So as you can see here, it has automatically loaded up a daily chart. We have a D there, and if I hover over it says 1 day. Now, the thing with the charts are if you click anywhere on it, it should highlight the chart. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is actually change my layout, because as you probably saw from the previous clip, I like to have a 3 chart layout, and that suits my strategy day trading. I like to have a minute chart on the left, a 5-minute on the right, and a daily on the bottom right. If you are a swing trader, you may prefer just to have 2 charts side by side, or you may just prefer to have 1 big chart, but I'm going to go ahead and set that up now. Okay, so to create the 3 chart layout, I'm just going to go in the top panel and there's a square box. If you hover over it, it says select layout, and if you click on there, it will bring down this drop box, and you actually have quite a few different options for your chart layout. So as I said, you can have the 2 vertical, 2 horizontal. There are different options for 3 charts. Now I like to use this 3rd one in, as I said before. Let's have a look. Okay, this must have changed since I last used it. As I said at the beginning of the video, I've been using Tradingview for about a year. I used the free platform probably for about 3 or 4 weeks before I upgraded and actually paid to have the pro account. So this must be quite new, because when I trialed it, I could create the 3 chart layout. But this is basically saying that the free plans only support 1 chart per layout at the same time. So I'm going to say no, because I don't want to sign up to that. But if you do decide to go for a pro plan, that's how you actually create it. It might be worth me doing another video so that I can do a guide on the pro plan itself. But for the purposes of this video, we'll stick with the 1 chart layout. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the background colour, because it is a personal preference, but I like to have a black background. I just feel like it gives a softer kind of platform for my eyes, so that I can see the actual candlesticks and the movement a bit more easier. So it's really simple. All you do is hover over the chart, right click with your mouse, and if you go down to colour theme, at the moment it's on light, so let's just select dark, and there we go, it automatically just reverses that. Now there are a few other additions that I'm going to do just to tweak this chart now. So again, if I right click, I'm going to go to settings. Let's see what we have. So you can actually change the colours of the candles themselves. I do prefer to have a bit more of a deeper red and a bit more of a deeper green. There is a button here that says extended hours, intraday only. So that's what allows you to select having the pre-market data. But again, it doesn't let you do that on the free version, but just to let you know that option is there. The time zone's also here, so at the moment, because I'm on the UK browser, it's set to London, but as I do trade the American stock market, I'm going to go and change that. I'm going to have Eastern Time New York. So carrying on, status line, scales, there we go, appearance. I don't quite like these grid lines. I think they're quite distracting from the actual price movement, so I'm going to remove those. And I'm just doing that by clicking on the box for the colour and just making the opacity at 0, just to basically make them transparent so that you can't see them anymore. I think that's a lot easier to see. Actually, I'm going to just keep them in, but just very fine. I just didn't like them as sharp as they were, but I think it's quite nice just to have them as a bit of a guide there. Okay, so you can change the crosshair, which is the actual mouse cursor, if you want to change that, but I'm going to leave that alone. Let's see what else we have. So this is for the actual trading itself. As I say, you can use Tradingview as a broker. I've never done that because I prefer to use a professional broker account. It may be good, I don't know, I've not used it, but I just stick to the charts, and that's what I'm going to do on this video. So I'll click OK. So moving the chart around is really simple. You just click your left key on the mouse to move it. If you've got a scroller in the middle of the mouse, you can roll that back and forwards to zoom in and out. If you want to move it up and down, at the moment I'm grabbing it and it doesn't move up and down. If you have that, you just need to go over to where the price is, so that your mouse displays this up and down arrow, and just adjust that slightly, and then that will let you move it. So you can use a combination of scrolling, moving it to wherever you want it. If you want to zoom in, you can zoom in quite a lot. You can make these a lot taller so that you can get a really nice definition for your pattern. So that's just manipulating the charts. Now, as you can see, this interferes quite a lot with these volume bars, so let's fix that now. And the best way to do that is if you hover over your volume bars and right click, it will say move to, and I'm just going to put a new pane below, and that should shift them down. We have this horizontal line here, so we can adjust the height of the volume bars to make them a bit smaller. Okay, so the easiest way to adjust the volume bars is to actually, if you see this arrow here, and that will let you see volume, and there's an I, so you can hide it if you don't want it there, and there's a little cog for settings. I'll go into there. We've got inputs here, and then style. So at the moment they are as candlesticks. Now I'm going to change them, and I prefer to use the histogram. It's a bit smaller, but it just gives you a nice overview of where the volume is without intruding too much, because the main focus needs to be on the candlesticks. Or at least it does for me anyway, so that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to click OK. Right, so that's looking a bit better. Now it's really useful to have some indicators, so let's go into our indicators at the top. There are quite a lot of indicators in TradingView. I've not used all of them, I just stick to the ones that I use for my strategy. As you do find them, you can save them in favourites. There will be quite a lot in the public library, so you can scroll through, but the easiest way, if you know what you're looking for, is to click on your search box and type it in. So let's add some moving averages. I'm going to use the exponential moving average. So I've just changed the ticker to a stock that I traded yesterday. Now we have one of these horizontal lines here, and if you click on that, if you right click it, or better yet, just double click that line. Now it's actually showing the last value line, which I find to be very distracting, because I use horizontal lines to show any like pivots or trend lines. So if you just remove last value line, that will get rid of that confusion. Now let's return back to our averages. So on my minute chart, I have a 20 EMA and I have a VWAP. So at the moment it's automatically, after clicking on moving averages from the indicators, it's automatically giving me a 9 EMA. So you can hover over that and go on settings to change that. So if we go into inputs, at the moment it's set to 9 and I want that to be 20. So that will show me the trend for the last 20 candles, the last 20 minutes. And let's go back to the style, because I like to have my EMA to be a nice blue colour. That's nice. Make it, I think that thickness is okay. I mean, you can make it really thick, but again, it can be a little bit intrusive. I tend to like mine a bit smaller. And click OK on there. As you can see, it's a little bit extending a little bit from that now. And let's go ahead and add a VWAP. So if we go back into indicators, as I say, you can scroll through all the ones that are built in. There are some ones that are more common than others. The average true range, you've got your Bollinger Bands. Scrolling back through these, we've got, as you can see, lots and lots of different averages. If you want to save them to make them easier to find, if you find the one you usually use, like the exponential moving average, you'll see a star next to it and you can click that to add it to favourites. Okay, let's just see what else there is. And there's my VWAP. I'm going to add that one to favourites as well. And I do like using the relative strength index, RSI, which I must have scrolled past. There it is. I'm going to save that one as well. But there are tons, MACD, there are loads of indicators. So if you like putting a lot of indicators on your charts, TradingView should provide that for you. So I'm going to go back into favourites, and they're the 3 that I saved. So let's add a VWAP to there. And there's my VWAP box here. And let's go into settings. There we go. I wondered where it was. It's because it's really extended from the VWAP. I like to have my VWAP a nice white colour. I feel like it stands out. So you can, again, just click on your settings tab. That will load up your style box here. You can edit line if you prefer to have like a dotted line, or I don't think it's, oh yeah, you can actually have a histogram. I've never used that before, but if you prefer that, you can have different versions of sharing your indicators, but I'm going to stick with the line, and that's great. So now we have my EMA, I've got VWAP, I've got my volume bars at the bottom, starting to look good. So just to show you, let's add one more indicator. I'll add the relative strength index as well, and that will put it at the bottom just below the volume bars. So you can edit this in the same way as your charts. You can move your price here, you can zoom in, you can make it a bit bigger, however you want to best see your RSI. It's automatically set to the 14, which is the most default way to use RSI. And again, if you go into your settings panel, it will give you the upper and the lower band options. So 70 and 30 is generic. You may prefer to use the 80 and the 20 to see the really extended ranges there. Again, you can edit the colours. I'm just going to leave that for now. And if you want to change the length, you can do that in the inputs. So there we go. So there's a nice range of indicators that you can add there with Tradingview. Now let's have a little look at some of the drawing tools that we can use as well. So I'm going to find a stock with some nice clear patterns for us to play with. Okay, at this point it might be worth noting that the charting data that Tradingview provides, or any charting software for that matter, they come from different markets. So they might be from the New York Stock Exchange, they might be from NASDAQ, ARCA, or there are other ones available. Now, you can be a little bit more limited on the data that you receive from your free version as well, which is another reason why I decided to go with the Pro. On the left, where you enter your ticker, below that it gives you the name of the stock, and then it'll say the name of the exchange. So this is the CBOE exchange here. Now, if you're on the free version, then you will be a bit limited to what you receive. And so the actual chart pattern, the candlesticks can look a little bit choppy because it's restricted data. It can be harder to plot any kind of like trend lines and things because you've got restricted data, you've not got the full picture. As I said, it's why I went with the Pro version. So I've just been trying to find a nice stock to use to show you some trend lines, but it's a little bit limiting, so we'll just use what we've got. As I say, it's really good, the free platform, to have a taster, and if you are trading on a slower time frame, swing trading, you can still use this without needing to actually pay for the paid subscription. But if you do need to use it for day trading, I would recommend checking out the paid subscriptions and then also upgrading to the actual market data as well, but we'll go over that a little bit later in the video. So let's say we want to add a trend line here. Now, there's a few different options you can do. So on the left hand side, the first one is actually the crosshair itself. You can change this if you prefer to have an arrow, but I quite like to have a cross. Below that, if you click on the arrow just next to it, you've got some different options here. Now, as with a lot of the features, there are quite a lot of features with Tradingview, and I don't necessarily use them all. You kind of maybe dabble about to begin with and then find what's best for you. That's the most important thing. A lot of it's about preference and what matches your strategy. But you can click on trend line, and let's say I want to do one from this top green candle, and just for the sake of drawing to this bottom one here. I don't think this is necessarily a good pattern. It's quite extended, and as I say, we've got limited data, but this is merely just to show you the drawing tools. So here we have a trend line. You can click on it and it brings you this little drawing toolbox here. Now, for my trend lines, I quite like to have a light blue, so I know that this is a trend line. If you click on the arrow to the left of that, once you've actually had your settings, you can save the drawing template. So we could call this trend line and save that. And then when you click on this arrow, you will have it there. Missed the D off, but you get the idea. You can have that there, or you can get rid of that if you don't want it anymore. And just to the right of that, you can change the width. If you want to make your trend line a bit thicker, you can make it dotted or keep it straight. There's some extra tools. You can add an arrow to one side, so maybe if you're not doing a trend line at all, you might just be wanting to show where you're going to make an entry for future reference. You've got all these tools here, so let's just put that back up there and go back to the line, and then the same for the other way. You can have your arrowhead down there. And there are some extra points too, so a lot of the same there with the different options for your line and the colours. You can pretty much do quite a lot of stuff with this, but generally I just change the colour, and that's quite useful there for the trend line. So what else have we got in here? Another one that I tend to really like using is the horizontal line. Now you can see there's actually the hotkey reference as well, which is what I use, but for the video, let's just click on it. And if you click once, it adds your line in. I'm going to press delete on my keyboard just to get rid of that. But just to show you the way that I tend to use it is if I find a point, usually at the bottom of a bull flag, and I want to highlight that as resistance. You can line up your crosshairs, and if you press Alt-H on your keyboard, that will automatically put the line in for you. And again, if you click on that, it brings up this panel here, and you can actually have different versions. So I have this blue line here, and I usually have that as a trend line. So if that's a supporting trend line to a bull flag, whereas you can change it if you want it to be referencing a pivot point, for example, on a daily chart, you tend to use pivots more. And for that, I like to have a red colour, and I prefer to have a dotted line so that I know at a glance, or rather a dashed line, that is a pivot line. And again, you can save that, so let's call that pivot. And all you're doing here is you're building your library of different formatted options for your horizontal line. So it's really useful. It makes the technical analysis a lot quicker when you can just plot your points, select the right one so you can see at a glance. If I'm analysing the daily chart and there's a big gap, I tend to stick with a white sort of dotted line so that I know at a glance, okay, there's a gap there, we've got a pivot here, we've got a trend line, and it's just really good to utilise all the features there for technical analysis. So that's the horizontal line. Now, I'm not going to go into further detail on a lot more of these because they're the main ones that I use. I do keep it simple, but continuing down here on this left-hand menu, there are lots of more technical indicators for the advanced technical analysis. So you've got your Fibonacci retracement lines, spirals. There's all sorts that you can do here. And then we've also got some different drawing tools. So the brush tool, if you want to actually mark on here, which can be useful just to make a point on your chart if you want to come back to it and remember what you were thinking. Again, text, so you can add some text onto your chart. You can add an arrow to show where you're thinking. There's so much that you can do. It really is a brilliant platform. There's some more, the Elliott wave, different technical analysis there. And then you've also got some different positioning tools. This can be quite handy to gauge, again, from longer positions, entry tools. So if you just sort of click on there, so the tool I've used for that one is the long position. And here it can help you to just decipher where your entry is going to be. If you make your stop here, you can see that your risk reward ratio is 1.6, so you can make your target a little bit higher, and it's just a useful tool to help gauge risk management in a very visual way, so you can see where your entry, your stop and your profit target is going to be. So it's another useful way of using the drawing tools available. There are a wide range of symbols. I don't know why you'd want to use all of those, but you do have all of those as well. So if you want to add a little Android robot to your chart, there you go. You can even do that as well. And then you've got your ruler tool. So if you want to add your ruler to gauge your charts for that as well. You can zoom in with this tool here. I'm just going to zoom back out though. I didn't quite want to do that. I prefer to use my mouse scroller and using the price here to zoom in, but you can use that as well. You can also drag the charts across here at the bottom. There's loads of different ways to use this. Or you can hide everything that you've put on. So if you make a big mess, you can hide all of that. And you can remove them all as well. Or if you prefer, you can just click on them with your mouse and press delete on your keyboard. So there's a load of different ways of actually using the platform. So there's a very, very brief overview for you on TradingView. As I said before, as I use the Pro platform, mine does look a little bit differently. I have my 3-chart layout, and also, as you can maybe guess, to spread this onto different screens for trading, I prefer to just drag the tab and drag it across to the screens that I have set up. So you can have multiple browsers open with TradingView. You can have your charts set up ready, and you can even add them into your watch list. So if we click on the watch list here, we've got BGFE. We can enter that ticker, press enter, and it'll turn up here at the bottom. So very, very useful. It even gives you this overview of whether it's up, the percentage, what the last price was, and it has some common symbols there too. So that there really is a lot you can do with this. As I said before, I've done a separate video on how to actually find stocks using the TradingView screener. But for now, I'm going to conclude that on the intro to the charting software itself. And I'm just going to share with you the subscription page if you want to learn more about the different packages available for you. Okay, so we're back onto the TradingView homepage. Now, as you can see, once you are signed in with your free account, to the right of that, it does give you the option to try the 30-day trial of the Pro package. Now, looking back, I think that is what I did. I think I had the free package for just a couple of weeks, and then I tried this trial, and then once I went with the trial, I couldn't go back because it was so worth it. But to have a look at the different packages, if you go under More and go on to Pricing, it should load up a page that gives a few different options for you. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the different packages here. We've got the free basic one at the moment. As I said before, I'm actually with the Pro Plus. I think I may have said Pro, but I've just checked and it's actually Pro Plus that I have. So that's what I use to utilise all the features. I haven't gone with Premium. I don't think I need all that, but the Pro Plus is one I have. Now, these are the different prices that are on the monthly view. If you click on the yearly view, it does work out cheaper on a monthly basis, but obviously you are paying for it in full for the year. Now, I did do that with the Pro Plus plan, and I think at the time it was also coinciding with a seasonal promotional offer they had on. I think it was for Black Friday. So if you are thinking of buying it, it might be worth just having a think about what offers might be coming up and keeping an eye on those. But let's just have a look at the different options we've got here. So you can start a free trial on these as well. If you scroll down, it does give you a comparison here. So the basic plan we've got, the Pro Plus and the Premium. So scrolling down, as we found out, you only have one chart per tab with the basic. Now there are only two with the Pro, which is probably why I went with Pro Plus, because I like to use 3 charts per tab. I like my 1 minute, 5 minute and daily chart. Also, it does let you have different devices there, so if you want to have it on a computer and a phone, you'll be better with the Pro Plus for that, or the Premium. Number of saved chart layouts. So this is where once you've set up your chart, you can actually save that layout together with all of your indicators so that you don't have to set it up every time you come back to it. But generally, TradingView automatically saves that as well for you. So as you can see, there's quite a few different options here. The custom time intervals is not available for the free package, which is also really handy if you go with the paid packages for those. But you do still get quite a lot of good features with the free basic package. You get the chart types, you get all those drawing tools and symbols that we looked at, and you also get access to the popular indicators. So it's a very good starter if you are new and want to get familiar with charting software. We didn't really go into detail on alerts. I could do a separate video, maybe themed more towards swing trading. If you want to learn more about that, let me know in the comments below. And there's just some more features as well. I mentioned the screener. There is a video I've made on that if you want to find out more. And then also we've got different data options. Social options, it is a social platform as well. There is a chat feature, but I've never used that, so I can't really give too much information about that. But there is that option if you want to get into chat. And then it does offer its trading as well. So there's quite a lot of features there with TradingView, and it has lots of different markets available. So if you click on these options, as you can see, it has got the options for Forex as well. And then the one I'm going to stick with is for America. Now, when you do subscribe, if you decide to go with a paid option, I didn't find this out until afterwards, and I thought it'd be handy to know this. But it doesn't actually include all of the exchanges. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that you have the New York Stock Exchange, you've got ARCA, you've got NASDAQ. There are different exchanges available, and if you want to have accurate, quick, real-time data for those, you have to subscribe in addition to those with your subscription. So if we look at the real-time data, not the delayed is what gives you the choppy, slow candlesticks. Real-time data is a lot easier and what you need to have all the facilities for day trading. And as you can see, it's not that much. It only works out about an extra $12 a year. But what I'd recommend is if you are day trading stocks like me, ARCA is definitely good to add. The New York Stock Exchange stocks, not the indices unless you want those, NASDAQ stocks, and then also the CBOE stocks. OTC markets is mainly if you're trading penny stocks under $1, so I don't really have those, but if you do, it's worth getting those as well. And I think that one actually includes all of those. There are loads of other options as well, so if you do futures, you've got all of those, and then there are also the different stock exchanges across the world, so there is a lot of information here. So it's just worth checking out what it is you actually need before you get your subscription. But by all means, you can start your free trial and see what feels right for you. And I hope you enjoy this platform as much as I have and continue to do so. It's a really, really great platform. So I will include some links below in the description if you want to check that out, if you want to try the basic free one that we've gone over, or if you want to try your free 30-day trial, I'll add those links for you below. Let me know any questions that you may have, or if you do want me to create a video that focuses on setting different charts up for the Pro Plus package, maybe for swing trading, I can do that. And if you've enjoyed this video, do like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.